any counsel. We have not been able to have contact with the plaintiff as well, Mr. Eduardo Ramirez, which brings us to our filing of this motion for no evidence summary judgment motion. After a year and a half of the case being in the court's docket, there's been nothing going on, and we feel the defendant 2900 Pershing feels that it is ripe for this court to enter an order dismissing the case based on our motion for no evidence. This motion was filed February 12, 2025, and we're here to move this court for such an order.
Okay, so I will go ahead as to your client only. Grant the motion for summary judgment, and if you do submit an actual judgment order, it can be with prejudice against your client, 2900 Pershing LLC.
Very well, Your Honor. I will have something before the end of the day today.
Yeah, so send the blank to my court coordinator, and then as to the other parties, I don't know, maybe those will get cleaned up later on through
Yes,
another type of docket. Thank you.
yes, sir. Thank
Have
you.
a good Easter, sir.
Likewise, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
And congratulations on your wife.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Okay. Jose Sosa versus Christian Arzola, etc. Is anybody here on this?
Good morning, Your Honor. Josh Garrett on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, let me see. You're here for Andrew Birdsell?
That's correct, Your Honor. He works in my firm.
Okay. And then, I don't know.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joshua Smentek on behalf of defendants Arzola and Ortiz.
I'm sorry, I didn't see whose lips were moving for that one. Oh, Mr. Smentek, okay.
Judge Lizarraga, Daniel Morales here for Chital Singh Takar and Yash Transport.
Okay, thank you. So this is on a scheduling conference. Have you all been to mediation?
We have mediation set for May 5th, Your Honor.
Okay. And then, since it is a scheduling conference, is there any other, well, I can give you jury dates.
Yes, I think that's
they're probably going to be
what we were missing.
Yes, sir. They're probably going to be in 2026, but once you have the mediation, maybe you'll settle the case. If not, you can get a jury setting from Robert, and he follows a particular procedure where he sends open dates to you, and then the parties can agree on a particular date.
Works, Your Honor.
Okay. So after we hang up, and Robert's here at this particular hearing, but get in touch with, he's probably drafting something right now. Somebody contact him for the proposed dates, and then you all can get together on a convenient date for the jury trial.
10-4, Your Honor. I'll send him an email and copy everybody on there as soon as we log off.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Thank you, Your
Yes. Okay, Mr. Schwartz on River Oaks.
Hello, Judge. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
We're here on two matters. The first matter we might want to take up is 2024 DCV 3105. Cynthia Gareca, also known as, excuse me, or Holly Johnson, I think, is on the call with us.
Yes. Okay. So on that particular case, Royal Business Holdings, etc., this is a default hearing.
It is.
Okay. And then meaning that there's been effective service and there has been no answer filed by each of the parties, each of the defendants, or is there anyone here for the defendants in that case?
Holly Johnson, I thought, was going to be on the call, Judge, but I don't see her.
I'm right here.
There she is.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So what do we have?
So
what relief do you want, or what do you propose?
I guess part of it depends on what Ms. Johnson's intentions are. If she's making a personal appearance today, then let's record the fact that she's made her personal appearance and we'll move for summary judgment. But as to the other two defendants, the Royal Business Holdings LLC and Jonathan Ambrose, they have not answered the lawsuit, and we would ask for a partial summary judgment or a default judgment against them.
Okay. They have notice of this hearing?
They do, Judge.
Okay, is there anybody here for Royal Business Holdings or Jonathan Ambrose? All right, there being no answer, let me get a call reporter. So, Ms. Johnson, what I'm going to do after I dispose of those two cases, I'll address you.
Yes,
and
sir.
I'll vote that you're present.
Okay, yes, sir.
All right, are we ready, Rachel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cause number 2024 DCV 3105 River Oaks El Paso LLC versus Royal Business Holdings LLC, Jonathan Ambriz, AMBRIZ, comma, and Holly Johnson. I know that Mr. Schwartz is here, and one of the defendants, Holly Johnson, is here, apparently pro se. But as to the other two parties, may have announcements of counsel. Besides Mr. Schwartz. Okay, there being no answer, Mr. Schwartz, you have default partial judgment on these individuals?
I can get you. I probably had submitted a default judgment as to all three, but if Ms. Johnson is going to make an appearance today, then I can substitute that out for a partial default judgment against the other two defendants.
Okay, for the purposes of this hearing, let's go ahead and do that. And can you just tell me what the principal amount is, what it's for, and attorney's fees, et cetera, please?
I can, 1 second. All right, here, I do have it up. There's an affidavit on file, Judge, reflecting a balance of $165,869.55. Attached to the affidavit of my client is the lease, as well as a ledger as to the balance that's owed.
The balance is 165,869?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then what are you asking for in attorney's fees as to those two defend?
$4,000 total, Judge.
4,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, since they didn't respond and you have the appropriate motions, I will go ahead and grant the judgment as to those two.
Very good.
As default, and then you can submit those to Robert. Now, Ms. Johnson.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Are you a lawyer by any chance?
No, sir.
Okay. Where are you?
El Paso, Texas, here at my job right now.
Okay. So you've been sued, and has there been any mediation hearing on this case?
No, sir.
Okay. So, Ms. Johnson, you've been sued, and apparently you're here pro se, meaning you're here on your own without representation. And yes. and you have a right to represent yourself. We can be off the record on this.
Okay.
Unless, Mr. Schwartz, you insist.
Well, if she's making an appearance, Judge, I do want that on the record.
Okay. I think it's on the record. Okay, fine. Continue on the record, please, Rachel. So, Ms. Johnson, you've been sued. You heard the amount on the other two parties as far as whether you're going to represent yourself or not. You're entitled to do that. Sometimes when I have non-lawyers, I have to explain to them that you can do that, but you're responsible for following all the rules. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Second thing is, I don't mind doing the Zooms, but sometimes, Mr. Schwartz, in a situation like this, I'd rather have a live hearing if there's going to be any further proceedings against Ms. Johnson, to give her an opportunity to get a lawyer or else to appear here and for me to make any admonishments or special instructions that I need to make. But, Ms. Johnson, we do have a procedure for mediation, which allows me to order mediation and gives you an opportunity to talk to, I guess it would be in this case, to Mr. Schwartz about what your options are, and hopefully to move towards maybe some kind of way to resolve the claim against you. Okay? Just because I entered a summary judgment a default judgment for $165,000 on the other parties, maybe you're not responsible for the full amount. Maybe you're not responsible for any of it, but it at least gives you an opportunity to talk to Mr. Schwartz about it in a safe setting, in the sense of there being a mediator. Mr. Schwartz, if I do send this to mediation, are you going to pick up? Will your client pick up the mediation fee, or do I send you to the regular mediation services that are available for Ms. Johnson, for example, that would take into account her limited resources that I'm assuming she has?
Well, we would, if the court ordered mediation, we would pay for our half of it, but not the whole thing.
Okay, so I'm going to send you to the mediation center, and I'll have you arrange that, Mr. Schwartz, since you know how to do that. And then also explain, for example, well, Ms. Johnson, let me ask you some questions. I don't know how you're involved in this, but what do you do for a living?
I'm a teacher.
Okay. And what kind of teacher are you?
I'm a biology teacher here at the Rams Early College.
Okay. So I'm assuming, are you wealthy? Let me ask you that.
No.
Okay. So, Mr. Schwartz, if you do call the mediation center, explain that one of the parties is of limited means, and they can charge you whatever you negotiate with them, but explain that I have ordered the mediation for Ms. Johnson, and with the request that they make any adjustments with respect to the kind of income that you would anticipate from a teacher. Where do you work at, ma'am?
Montwood High School, Early College.
Okay. All right. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Schwartz.
Very good, Judge. I'm fine with that. We'll get that arranged.
Okay. And then,
I'll get you a modified order.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Johnson,
Yes,
that
sir.
doesn't keep you from talking to Mr. Schwartz one-on-one if you'd like.
Okay.
He may be, want to provide you information or assess what he can do on behalf of his client with just you,
Okay.
given that the other two parties aren't here, or he'll send you notice of the mediation and you do need to appear
Yes, sir.
for that mediation, and you will be responsible for paying any kind of fee that they assess. However, the mediation center is set up to take into account providing mediation services for people, for everybody, as opposed to having a special mediator that normally I would appoint.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
The other thing is, after the mediation, I am going to set this for a status hearing. So, Mr. Schwartz, if you can set up for a status hearing live.
Not Memorex, Judge.
Right.
Okay.
And Ms. Johnson, what I mean by that is, instead of having to be here in a Zoom hearing, just appear in my court and then we'll go from there.
Yes, sir. I understand.
You'll have notice of anything that might happen, but at the status hearing, I'm not going to be getting any testimony from you or anything like that. I'm basically going to try and find out what the status is with you as a party and whether this is going to go to trial or not, and then explain to you what the procedure is if you want to represent yourself.
I understand. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ms. Johnson, could you, before we get off here, could you please provide the court with your email address, because they probably don't have a way to contact you?
Hold on 1 second, please.
Yes,
You
sir.
could email my court coordinator with the email address, please.
Okay. Will do. Right up. Yes, sir.
And then Mr. Schwartz, you can get it that way. And also, there's nothing prohibiting Mr. Schwartz from calling you if you want to provide that information as well. And
Okay.
I'll see you at the status hearing.
Okay, and your court coordinator is Mr. Vasquez, is that correct?
Yes, he's here listening to all this. So if you call him. Mr.
Okay.
Schwartz, anything else?
Not on this matter, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Johnson?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Okay,
That's all.
relax.
Okay. Okay. Will do. Yes, sir.
Mr. Schwartz doesn't bite, okay?
Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
You can call
Okay.
him if you want. He may call you, but on the other hand, I've set this up so that you can go to the mediation at the very least, and then appear in my court setting.
Okay.
And then pick a date that you don't have to. Well, that's convenient for you. I'm open till 5, so
Okay.
if you want to pick a time that doesn't interfere with your work, you can do that as well.
Okay. Yes, sir. Will do.
Right.
And free to reach out to me, Ms. Johnson, if you'd like to discuss this matter other than
Okay.
through mediation. I'm happy to talk to you about it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank
All
you.
right. See that, and then you'll submit the paperwork on the other parties and send a copy to Ms. Johnson, Mr. Schwartz.
Correct.
Thank you. Okay. You're excused.
And then the next matter, Judge, is 2024 DCV 4237.
Okay.
And I, in this case, it's a motion for partial default judgment against Cynthia Gareca and Jose Ramirez, but I see that Ms. Gareca is also on the call with us.
Yes, I'm here.
We're,
morning.
okay, Ms. Gareca. And then, so La Zona 915, you're asking for a partial summary against them?
No, I'm not, Judge. Their franchise was revoked. They're no longer in existence as an entity. So it would only be Jose Ramirez at this point. If Ms. Gareca is making a personal appearance in this case.
Okay, well, she's here, so I guess she is. And then Jose Ramirez is not here.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm also here, sir.
Oh, he's
Oh,
here.
okay.
Right.
I'm sorry.
all right. So let me do this, Mr. Schwartz. Let me set this for live hearing, please.
Okay.
You go ahead and get a setting. Ms. Gareca and Mr. Ramirez, you're going to get a notice of a setting here in court. You heard some of the, I take it you don't have a lawyer?
No, right now.
That's
Okay.
sir.
Well, you should try and get one for the next setting. If you can, if you appear pro se, that is your right. And then that way, if I have you live, I can handle this a little better and take into account any circumstances that I need to take into account. If you do hire a lawyer, show that lawyer the setting, and then they should probably either appear there or get a hold of Mr. Schwartz ahead of time.
Thank you.
Anything else,
Your
Mr.
Honor.
Schwartz? Did you want to put that on the record that they're here or what?
Well, I think they're on the record that they're here. They've made their appearance, personal appearance now. They're before the court.
Yeah,
And,
I don't have a court
we-
report is what I'm saying. So it's not on that record, but yes, once we get the email, get a hold of Mr. Vasquez, my court coordinator, if he doesn't have your email, to make sure that he gets notice to you, unless that's how he got notice to you in the first place. Okay?
Judge, were we on the record on this matter?
Nope.
Well, I'd like to get on the record then and have them make their appearance.
Okay. Rachel, are you ready? Okay. Calls number 2024 DCV 4237 River Oaks Properties Ltd versus La Zona 915 GR, LLC. Cynthia Gareca and Jose Ramirez on a default hearing, and this record was requested by Mr. Schwartz, the plaintiff's attorney, I think mainly to document the appearance of parties. So Mr. Schwartz is here present, apparently ready to proceed. And then I have Ms. Cynthia Gareca, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
This is a Zoom hearing, and I have Mr. Jose Ramirez, is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And then what I've instructed is a live hearing after this. Mr. Schwartz, your record. Anything else?
No, Your Honor. They've made their appearance now before the court. It is on the record, and we will proceed accordingly.
Okay. Thank you very much. And
Thank you, Judge.
all parties are excused.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you, Your Honor.
Next. Let me call it Rocket Mortgage, etc.
Your Honor, James Shapiro here on behalf of Rocket Mortgage.
Okay. And then it's a default hearing. So is there anybody here for Benjamin Domingo Munat? No? Okay. So there be no appearance. Mr. Frappier?
Prep, yeah, you had it right the first time, Your Honor.
Okay. Where are you calling from? The 972, where's that?
Up in Dallas, Your Honor.
Dallas, okay.
And Your Honor, if I may,
right.
we actually amended the petition based on the death of one of the defendants to Barbara Jean Munar, and that was filed with the court. So I don't know if you'd like to call them on the Zoom as well.
Well, do they have notice of the hearing?
Yes, Your Honor, they're the only defendant in this case, and they were personally served and have notice of the hearing.
And when were they served?
They were served on August 30th of 2024, and the return of service was filed with the court on September 10th.
Okay. And then the notice of this particular hearing was effectuated how?
By certified mail on March 24th of 2025, it was mailed and filed with the court, Your Honor.
And was it returned as undeliverable?
It was returned as the last I checked on the tracking was that they had posted at the address, but not there was no green card signed.
But did the letter come back to you as undeliverable?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Okay. What are the damages?
Your Honor, it's a foreclosure case. We're just seeking the ability to post the property at a foreclosure sale as the beneficiary of the deed of trust that's attached to the petition. So it's just an in rem, and we're not asking for attorney's fees.
Okay. Let me just get a record real quick since it's a default, and then I'll sign the appropriate paperwork. Rachel, are you on?
I am.
Okay. Calls number 2023 DCV 0200. Rocket Mortgage, LLC, formerly known as Quicken Loans, LLC, formerly known as Quicken Loans, Inc., versus Benjamin Domingo Munar, as listed on my docket sheet, but Mr. Frappier, the plaintiff's attorney, is here. Would you please explain the amendment to the petition or the change in parties?
Yes, Your Honor. The change in parties is based on the death of the original defendant. This is a foreclosure case, so the title on the property is now vested in the amended petition's defendant, which is Barbara Jean Munar.
And then you've represented to the court that with your familiarity of these types of proceedings, the service is effective and there was a proper notice or attempt at notice for this particular hearing.
That's correct, Your Honor. Personal service was affected on the defendant, Barbara Jean Munar, and notice of the hearing was mailed via certified mail, even though no response has been filed.
Okay. Let me get off the record for real quick. Explain to me, because it's listed as Benjamin Domingo Munar, obviously the parties have not changed on the docket sheet. Is that going to matter?
The proposed order, Your Honor, will have because
I'm sorry, let me get back on the record then. Let me get back on the record. I'm just inquiring because Benjamin Domingo Munar apparently is deceased and the parties have changed, but that's not reflected on the docket sheet. Go ahead, sir.
Your Honor, the proposed order will have Barbara Jean Munar. Mr. Benjamin Domingo Munar is only ever present in the pleading since we had found out he was deceased, just in the case style, which we had been instructed not to change.
I'm sorry, who instructed you? Is that the district clerk's practice?
Your Honor, sorry, I believe I misspoke. It just from my experience, I'd been asked not to change the case style as it's styled, but the actual pleadings to be amended. We can surely submit an order that has the case style changed so it reflects it on the docket.
Why don't you do that? Why don't you just do that and then submit your other paperwork?
Understood, Your Honor.
And then I'll just go from there. It's a foreclosure hearing, and you're asking. After I sign that, a notice will be sent to the defendant. So
that's correct.
Once I sign that, let me change that. As soon as I sign we'll change the style. Immediately after that, you may submit your paperwork for this hearing for the default against Barbara Munar.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day, Your Honor.
You're excused. Yes, sir. Okay. James Jordan versus Reliance Land M6. Motion to withdraw as attorney.
Morning, Judge. This is Andrew Kobos from the Kobos Law Firm, and it is our motion to withdraw.
Okay. And you are attorneys for?
I am an attorney for James Jordan. My law firm is.
Okay.
And I know that there's another set of attorneys. I'm not sure if they're on, but it's the Sanders Law Firm, and I do
Are they
believe.
on? Are they on?
I'm not sure.
I don't see.
Sir, no. I'm talking to the record, sir. I mean,
Oh,
is anybody here for on this case? No? Okay. So it's a motion to withdraw, and Mr. Kobos, you're asking for withdrawal of your firm. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And it's already listed here as pro se. So
Mr. Jordan subsequently filed some documents with the court asking to be represent himself pro se.
Okay. Mr. Jordan, did you
Yes,
not hear
sir.
me call? Did you not hear me call you?
I heard you. I thought you were talking to the other attorneys, Your Honor.
Well, I'm talking to anybody that's here on this case. So
I'm
I'm here as well, Chris Wagner for the defense.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm here as well.
What am I supposed to do? Mr. Kobos is the only one talking to me, and there's two other people here. So
I'm
let me
sorry.
get this straight. It's okay, and please excuse me, because I thought I was saying enough to get a clarification on who was here. So this is James Jordan versus
Yes, sir.
Reliance Land, and Mr. Kobos indicated that he's here to withdraw. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's right.
And that therefore this whole hearing is on your motion. So for whoever's here, does anybody contest Mr. Plaintiff's attorneys, and Mr. Kobos is here for them? Does anyone contest or withdraw from this case?
Your Honor, I don't know if this is a proper time, but I had submitted other documents, my reasons for terminating my attorneys.
Okay, so you're moving to terminate them, and Mr. Kobos is here saying, "Fine, terminate me." Is that correct, Mr. Kobos?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay, and then Mr. Wagner, who are you here representing?
I represent Reliance Land, the Motel 6, the defendant, and we're unopposed to any.
Okay, let me get a record real quick. Rachel, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Calls number 2023 DCV 1145 James Jordan versus Reliance Land M6 LLC on a motion to withdraw filed by James Jordan, the plaintiff in this case. May I have announcements of counsel, please?
Yes, Your Honor. This is Andrew Kobos on behalf of the Kobos Law Firm and withdrawing from representation of James Jordan in this case.
This is Chris Wagner with Reliance Land M6, representing the defendant, and we're unopposed to the plaintiff's counsel's motion.
This is
James Jordan.
Yes.
Okay, we're on the record, sir. and you don't oppose Mr. Kobos withdrawing from the case. Is that correct?
No, sir. He was actually fired before he filed the document.
Okay, you don't oppose him withdrawing officially from the case?
No, sir.
Okay, Mr. Kobos, you're excused. You may want to provide paperwork to memorialize the withdrawal from the case.
Yes, sir. I will follow up with an email to Mr. Jordan and memorialize that. Your Honor, I had sent a Zoom link, and Mr. Sanders is now on. I believe he's also withdrawing from the case.
He's been, excuse me, Your Honor, Mr. Sanders has been terminated since October 2023, and he's been on my case.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Mr. Sanders, you're an attorney? I can't hear you. You're off. Can you turn your microphone on?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, so if you're going to withdraw, or you've already been withdrawn to protect your own interests on this case, if you want to submit an order, with my allowing you to withdraw, you may do that and you're otherwise excused.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cobos, thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Appreciate you.
All right, so now I have left Mr. Jordan and Mr. Wagner for Reliance Land. We're still on the record, and so what's the status of this case, please? I'm going to ask Mr. Wagner, what's the status of this case in your mind?
Yes, Your Honor. Last time we had a hearing with you on a motion to compel, you granted a continuance during that hearing. We memorialized that continuance between the parties. Since that time, we've moved the trial date to October 1st, 2025, and we are waiting for deadlines prior. If the court is going to issue deadlines prior to that trial date for pretrial procedural stuff, or if we need to submit pretrial procedure deadlines to the court.
Well, have you been to mediation?
Yes, we have been to mediation.
So that didn't work.
The mediation failed. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Mr. Jordan, are you a lawyer?
No, sir, I'm not.
Are you going to represent yourself?
Sir, I've submitted documents, a pro se document requesting that the court, when you give me pro se status, to allow me 45 days to hire a counsel. This October date, it should have been suspended. I sent documents where they submitted.
Let me do this. If nobody opposes this, I'm going to get off the record now. Okay?
That's fine.
All right. So, Rachel, that's the end of that record. So, Mr. Jordan, if you're going to hire a lawyer, then I'll give you time to hire a lawyer and we'll proceed. But if you don't do that, or if you're not going to hire a lawyer, then you're set for October 1 for a jury trial, I presume, unless you haven't paid the jury trial fee.
The fee has been paid, Your Honor.
Okay. So you're set for that. But if you want time to get a lawyer, subject to any objection by Mr. Wagner, I don't have a problem with giving you that amount of time.
No objection here, Your Honor.
Mr. Jordan.
Yes, sir. No objection, Your Honor. I have a question. I've sent you motions. Is the court not going to answer those today? Or?
Wait a minute. Don't ask me if I'm going to do whatever I'm supposed to do. There's a way to do that. Are you here in El Paso, Mr. Jordan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Since you're here solo, Mr. Wagner, I don't know where you're at, but I need
Houston.
Okay, I got to set this for a live hearing, unless you can work out otherwise, so I can answer Mr. Jordan's questions live.
Your Honor, if we definitely need to set this for live hearing. Email the plaintiff here, Mr. Jordan, has emailed his retained counsel prior to this hearing and us on a consistent basis with all types of evidence dumps and document dumps and all these types of things. So we need to get a clear, concise path on how to proceed with this.
Yeah, let me go ahead and what is if I may just a brief summary, the type of lawsuit this is, Mr. Wagner.
Yeah, so this is a slip and fall out of Motel 8. It happened in 2023, I believe. We've attempted mediation. Plaintiff has gone through 2 counsels at this point, so we keep getting continuances to try to get new counsels. And now it's gotten to the point where plaintiff, prior to this hearing where his counsel has properly withdrawn, was emailing me. And so I wasn't able to respond to that because he was still retained. And so now after this meeting, I'll be able to work with him directly.
Okay. So, Mr. Jordan,
Yes,
you
sir.
can represent. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can represent yourself, but I expect you to abide by all the rules. Okay. And
Yes,
if you're
sir.
going to get another lawyer, then you can have another lawyer, Mr. Wagner. I don't know if you're going to retain local counsel or come down here.
No,
But
I'll come.
Because you're the one traveling, I'll allow you to set the hearing, a live hearing, status hearing on this case.
A status hearing? Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then we can just go from there.
Okay. Your Honor, I just want to go ahead and put this out there. The October 1st date was when plaintiff was retained. I'm comfortable with submitting another continuance on this until he retains counsel.
Yeah.
Based on his pleadings and stuff and the way
No,
that we've
okay,
been communicating,
right.
it's been rough.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Wagner, I understand, and a lot of times
Yeah.
I get pro se's over here. Mr. Jordan is saying he's going to get another lawyer, but
Okay.
once I have the live hearing and I'm face to face, I can find out more, and I can effectively give him information with respect to what he's going to do and give him deadlines, which it sounds like is something that you would like.
Yes, sir.
So that you have some certainty in your proceedings. So go ahead and set a hearing, Mr. Jordan. You'll get notice of a status hearing in my court.
Yes, sir.
And it'll be live, and then I'll see you all then, and we'll take care of that. In the meantime, Mr. Wagner, well, let me get on the record. Tell me when you're ready, Rachel.
Okay.
Thank you. You ready, Rachel?
He's ready.
I'm sorry, I didn't. You sounded muffled.
She's ready, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Okay, calls number 2023 DCV. Is it 1145?
Yes,
1145. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. James Jordan versus Reliance Land M6 LLC, and this is on a. Well, this is actually a status on the case, a record being made after the motion to withdraw attorney was granted. So, Mr. Jordan?
Yes, sir.
I am going to ask you not to make any more filings at this time until I have my status hearing, okay? Because every time you file something, Mr. Wagner has to respond, or he's been in a dilemma trying to figure out if he needs to respond. So he's going to get a setting here in my court from my court coordinator, a live hearing in El Paso. I'll see you then, and I'll see Mr. Wagner then.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything else?
For the filings that are on file by the pro se plaintiff now, I don't know if I need to respond to those because they kind of are not addressing our current case. So is there any way the court can review those documents and let me know if I need to respond to
Mr.
those
Wagner.
things?
Mr. Wagner, if you want to put this in the order or whatever, I'm staying any further proceedings until I have my status hearing. And I'm also making this record to make clear to both parties that under all of these circumstances and on your representations, and also based on what I've gathered from these hearings, you are under no requirement to respond until after the status hearing.
Thank you, sir.
And then that way you can ask me and bring those to my attention, and I'll rule on those.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. And then I also asked Mr. Jordan, when I say
Yes,
I'm putting a stay on the proceedings, it means don't file anything else. But if you're going to file anything, you can bring them to court, and then I'll let you file them then, and they can be taken up.
Yes, sir. I understand pretty much everything that's going on in the court, Your Honor. I understand what you're saying when you say it.
Okay. Thank you very much. You're both excused. Have a good holiday. And we'll see you here in El Paso, Mr. Wagner, and also Mr. Jordan. We'll see you here in my court.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
You're excused.
Yes, sir.
That concludes the docket, Judge.
Thank you. I'm concluding my proceeding.